Let's discuss the tax treatment of various bonds. So if you're dealing with corporate bonds or even Ginnie Mae's, even though Ginnie Mae is a government agency, or Fannie Mae's, Freddie Mac's, which are government-sponsored enterprises, Sallie Mae's, anything like that, those are going to be fully taxable. So that means that you're going to be hit with federal tax, state tax, and maybe even city tax. With certain cities, like big cities like New York and Los Angeles and probably even Chicago, are going to have city taxes as well, right? So that's corporate. Now, if you have a quote unquote federal bond, which is like like a treasury, a T-bill, a T-note, a T-bond, a strip, a tip, all of those are going to be exempt from state and local taxes, but you will pay federal taxes. You will pay federal taxes on it, right? Now, if you have a muni bond, that's where it gets interesting. So there's 4 scenarios that can happen. 4 scenarios. Scenario 1, if you're dealing with the U.S. territory bond, whether it's Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, Guam, American Samoa, I don't care where you are, you're not going to pay any taxes on it. You're not going to pay any taxes on it, right? And actually, that's the big benefit of muni bonds. Muni bonds are mainly for individuals that are very wealthy and institutions, because who really needs the tax benefit? Individuals that pay a lot of taxes. If you don't pay a lot of taxes, why do you need tax benefits? Might as well just get a corporate, right? Also, I'll address like zero coupon taxation and stuff like that. So now, if we're talking about a scenario number 2, if you live in a state and a city that has no state and city taxes, right? Like there's about 11 states that don't have state taxes, like Texas, Florida, Alaska, etc. In that scenario, you can also buy another muni bond anywhere in the nation and you wouldn't pay any taxes because you pay your own taxes on a muni bond that's bought out of state, right? So if you don't have your own taxes, no problem, right? Option 3. Let's say you're based out of California and you buy an Oregon bond. In that scenario, you would pay your own California taxes, so city and state taxes, but no federal, right? Option 4 is you live in California and you buy a San Diego bond, so you don't pay any taxes on it, right? Now, there could be alternative minimum taxes applied to what's called private activity bonds. Private activity bonds are basically those that are done for a private entity, and those would come into play, let's say, if someone were, like for a stadium, an airport, a hospital, something like that, where what happens is actually you would have to calculate your regular taxes and your alternative minimum tax, and you'd have to pay the higher of the two. So that's another scenario. Now I guess I said there was 4 scenarios. I guess there's a little more than that. But now let's address, let's say, if bonds are purchased at a discount, secondary market discount, a premium, or whether it's a premium or an original issue premium. So if it's going to be a secondary market discount bond, if it's going to be an original issue discount bond originally bought from the issuer, that's going to be, and if it's a muni bond, that's going to be accreted, where the cost base is going to increase up to $1,000, and that's not going to be taxed at all, which is nice. Now, if it's a secondary market discount municipal bonds, that accretion will be taxable, right? It will be taxable. And then when you're dealing with premium bonds, if you're going to be amortizing them down, if you're going to be amortizing down a premium bond, there's going to be no taxation because you're bringing down the cost basis instead of bringing up the cost basis now. So, and then if you're dealing with and just to kind of briefly mention that, if it's a OID, you have to accrete. If it's a secondary market discount, you can choose to accrete. If it's a premium bond, any kind of premium, whether it's an original issue or bond that you bought on the secondary market for a premium, if it's a muni, you have to amortize it. If it's a treasury or a corporate, you don't have to amortize it. So I hope that kind of gives you a quick background of that kind of stuff. Please listen and subscribe for more.